Hello and welcome to episode 63 of SEO is Not That Hard. I'm your host, Ed Dawson, the founder of keywordspeopleuse.com, the solution to finding the questions people ask online. I'm an affiliate marketer, SEO, and I've been building and monetizing websites for over 20 years. I've built sites from the ground up, bought sites and sold sites in large exits. I'm here to share with you the SEO knowledge, hints and tips I've built up over the years. Today I'm going to talk about how I use ChatGPT. So back in the last episode, number 62 of SEO is Not That Hard, I was pretty negative on using ChatGPT as an SEO research tool for things like keyword research and keyword clustering and that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean I don't find it incredibly useful in other ways. So in this episode, I want to share some light on where ChatGPT can be a really great and useful productivity tool and the ways that I use it. So if we look at ChatGPT, what it has got a fantastic amount of information on its technical how-to. It knows how to do and how to implement huge amounts of technical problems. I've yet to come across a technical issue or technical question I've gone to it with where it hasn't known an answer or it's given me an incorrect answer. So SEO wise, some of the things it's really good at doing is things where there's a technical manual that explains how to implement it. So this is things like hreflang. So hreflang is easy to get wrong. It's quite complicated to do, but it actually follows a defined rule set. And ChatGPT is really good at sorting out hreflang tags on pages. So if you're trying to implement hreflang, then it's really good to use ChatGPT to help you along that process. It's the same with robots.txt, again, another SEO topic which follows a defined set of rules, and ChatGPT understands those rules really well. So you can have it create robots.txt rules for you, and quite complex ones, and you can just tell it in human language what you're trying to achieve. It will create the robots.txt code for you, and then obviously you can go and use a robots.txt checker to make sure it actually works. But it's really good at creating things like that for you. Another fantastic use is to create schema markups. So, for example, if you wanted to get the schema markup for a recipe, you can just give ChatGPT the recipe and then say, please create me the schema markup for this. And it will do that for you. You can then just cut and paste that out. Again, you can check it in schema.org to check it's valid. And then put it in the page. You can even ask ChatGPT, where on the page should I put this? And it's really good at those kind of things. And if you get into more sort of technical stuff like how to make regular expressions, and how if you want to work with third-party APIs, it's really good if you're trying to work with an API. Say like I was doing some work with the YouTube API a couple of weeks ago, and I just said to it, right, this is what I want to achieve with the YouTube API, and it just step told me what I needed to be doing, where I needed to go to register the access to the API, how to communicate with that API, and how to put it into a Python script. Just really, really quick and easy, and saves a hell of a lot of Googling around and trying to sort out how to solve the problem that you're trying to achieve. It's what it's really good at is you can give it a problem in plain English, what you're trying to achieve with what, and it can then fill in all the blanks for you and save you having to research around the subject. It will be able to just say, right, all right, you're trying to achieve this with this is how you do it. It's also really great if you're trying to crunch data and you're using a spreadsheet like Google Sheets or Excel, and you want to do something a little bit more complex than the sort of the standard basic functionalities of these spreadsheets. You can just say to ChatGPT, how do I achieve this in Google Sheets? Just the other day, I was doing something simple, and I've never tried to compare the difference between two dates and get the result in months. I just said to ChatGPT, how do I do this in plain English? And then it came out and said, just use this function, and this is an example of how to do it. So it's really good for those things. It can save you a lot of time on research on how to achieve certain things. I've also used it quite a lot when prototyping for new tools for keywords people use. So it's really, really good. I can say to it in terms of, I'm trying to achieve a certain outcome. How do I do this? And it can suggest libraries that you can use and even give examples of how to code it. I found it really good for just doing basic input and output type stuff like I'm well versed in SQL, and I can write SQL from scratch myself, but I find it's actually quicker for me to just tell ChatGPT in straight English what tables I want, what fields I want in them, and it will just create all the MySQL code for me to do that. And again, for simple and even some more complex MySQL queries, just tell it what I'm trying to get out of the database, and it will generate those MySQL queries for you. So I find it very useful for things like that. It's just up to my productivity level, so it takes off some of the burdensome side of development, which can be some of the creating like the boilerplate code. It can be really good at creating sort of boilerplate code with a little bit more depth for you, to get you moving and trying things quicker. So I'm now achieving things, especially when prototyping and playing around, that might have taken me a week. You can get done in less than a day now. So things like that, it's really, really good for, because it understands the programming languages, it understands the APIs, it understands all these things, because it's read and understood that knowledge. It's been built up into its model, and then you can query it to ask it questions to achieve things using those things it knows how to do. And for that, I'm absolutely astounded at how good it is. There are other things that I've seen people use it for SEO wise, like creating meta descriptions and titles at scale. Not something I've done myself, but I've seen plenty of other people talking about it. I have used it for some content in terms of creating content outlines, but I've never just verbatim used the content outlines it's generated. But it is good for just maybe giving yourself some ideas, seeing if there's things you've missed. Sometimes it puts in erroneous stuff. As I say, I've said in other ones, content that it produces is still, it's not there. It's not as good as it can produce at a huge scale, but the quality is not there that you get from a human writer. The kind of the intonation and the creativity of a human writer isn't there, because it's only working off stuff that it's averaged from elsewhere. So you're only really getting an average of the existing kind of content. You're not really getting anything truly new when it's creating content. So that's why it's not quite there yet. But it can be very good for helping you get inspiration for content, and maybe seeing where you might have missed things, seeing content gaps. And I've certainly used it for some of those respects. So if I was to summarize, it would be that ChatGPT is great as like a productivity assistant that you can go to with a, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm trying to achieve this. What can you suggest? And it's really good at that, especially the more technical the thing that you're asking, the more definitive those things are. Then, yeah, they work really, really well. When it comes to the sort of content creativity bit, which is where most of the hype seems to be, I still think it's not there yet. And that's not to say I don't think it's going to get better over time, but I think right now ChatGPT is great as a productivity, kind of like an awesome sort of assistant that knows the answers to the questions that you've got, but hasn't got the creativity to generate the ideas to build the things that you need to build. Thanks for listening to episode 63 of SEO is Not That Hard. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and share, it really helps. SEO is Not That Hard is brought to you by keywordspeopleuse.com, the solution to finding the questions people ask online. See why thousands of people use us every day. Try it today for free at keywordspeopleuse.com. If you want to get in touch, have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Channel5 on Twitter. Or you can email me at podcast@keywordspeopleuse.com. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode of SEO is Not That Hard.